Hey friend, John MacLennan here, and in this video you're going to learn how to play No Particular Place to Go as recorded by Chuck Berry on guitar. Now this song is a 12-bar blues in the key of G, so if you're familiar with that progression, it's really going to help you out. Now we're going to go through two parts for this lesson. The first part, I'm going to show you a main rhythm through the whole thing, and then the second half of the lesson, I'm going to show you a lead part and some of those classic Chuck Berry phrases that are going to give you a great insight into his playing style. But before we dive in, if you're new to the channel and have not downloaded my fretboard guide yet, I've got a gift for you. At the first link down below, I put together this awesome PDF that's going to show you the 5 chords and scales you need to know to map out the entire fretboard. And I used to look down at the guitar neck and be so much more confused until I understood this fretboard guide. And it's a simple system that's just based off a couple chords that you probably already know, and you can expand those out across the fretboard. And I want to give it to you completely for free. Just go to johnmaclennan.com/fretboard guide, or you can click the first link down below to grab your copy. All right, well, with that said, let's break it down. Let's break down how to play No Particular Place to Go as recorded by Chuck Berry on guitar. Now we're going to start off with a very common blues rhythm pattern in the key of G. But what's cool about this song is we're going to have these rests in the pattern. So it sort of is like a call and response between Chuck Berry, singing. He starts off with "Riding Along in My Automobile," and then the guitar plays this in between. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. So let's start off with that. We've got a G power chord shape here. We're going to play the 3rd fret of the low E and the 5th fret on the A string, just those 2 notes. Now here I'm using my index finger and my ring finger to grab those. And we're going to play 2 strums here, just down strums. And I'm muting off the other strings. Then you want to reach up and grab the 7th fret of the 5th string. So that's going to replace the 5th fret that we were playing there. So it's going to go 2 strums there and then 2 strums with the pinky on. And this is a very common movable blues pattern. We're going to play. So just back and forth there, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So we play a full measure and then we just hit the first beat of the next measure and then we rest. So do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Ba-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Okay, so right here we have what's called going to the 4 chord. So if we're in the key of G, the 4 chord is going to be what we call the C chord. So the way we play that is we take our fingers and we shift down 1 string. So this is going to be the 3rd fret of the A string now, and then the 5th fret of the D string. We'll play that same thing and then bring it back to the G. So it's just 1 time on C there. Then we go back to G. All right, then we have what's called the turnaround. Now Chuck Berry a lot of times would just go to the 5 chord for the turnaround and he would stay there. Now a lot of blues, a lot of typical 12-bar blues do a 5 down to 4, but here the Chuck Berry way is to just do the 5. We're gonna go. And then we go back to the G chord or the 1 chord. So for the 5 chord, I went to the 5th fret of the A string and the 7th fret on the D string. And I rock back and forth between those 2 shapes. Then we go back to G. All right, so there it is. So that's your 12-bar blues rhythm. So I'm going to play that 1 time. I'm just going to hum the melody in between. Here we go. A 1, 2, 3, 4, a 1. Do 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 do. But do 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 do. And then we go to the C, then take it back to the G, then up to the 5 chord, then back to the 1. Alright, so you've got that rhythm part down. Now let's talk about some lead stuff that goes on top of that rhythm part. And I'll show you a second guitar part here that's doing more of the fancier lead stuff. Here's what it sounds like. Alright, so these are some very common Chuck Berry style guitar parts here. We're going to use something called double stops, and that's where we're playing these riffs, and they have 2 notes in them. Here's the first riff. So I'm sliding in here to the 7th fret of the 3rd string and the 6th fret of the 2nd string. I'm using my middle finger and my index finger. Now these are triplets, so ba 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 ba. They start on beat 2 like this. 1 and 2 and a 3 and a. Then we're gonna finish with this. One of the most classic blues licks of all time here. This is a double stop, grabbing now the 5th fret on the 3rd string and the 2nd string. So now they're on the same fret. Then we'll do the same thing here, down on 3 and 3. Same strings, 3rd string, 2nd string. Then we'll finish on the 5th fret of the 4th string. So 1 and 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 1, 2. So that happens as sort of like a call and response to the vocal. So the vocal's like, but do 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 do. Okay, so that goes 2 times there on the same riff. Again, this is a very common blues phrase. So many people use this. Clapton, to Stevie Ray Vaughan, to a lot of blues players. And then what we do is we go to a little variation on it. So check this next part out. This goes like this. 3, 4, 1. Now what this is moving up just a little higher. Instead of going here, we're gonna go. Another very common Chuck Berry move here. We're using a double stop, just using one finger, the index finger, and sliding into that 3rd fret there. Then we're gonna come back the same way we did before, 5, 3, with the double stops, then finish on 5 on the 4th string. So same rhythm as well, starting on beat 2. 1 and 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 1, 2. So we're going to do that 2 times, just like we did the first one. Then we go back to the first riff 2 times, like this. 2, 3, 4, 1. All right, remember we're starting on beat 2, and then we have basically a rest where the vocal sings, and then the guitar answers, then a rest where the vocal sings, then the guitar answers, all the way through the 12-bar blues. It's like every other bar we're kind of playing here. So here it is, all of that put together. We're going to play the lead part now. So 2 times on the lower riff, 2 times on the higher riff, back to 2 times on the lower riff. Get set, and I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4. Take it up higher, and a 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. And back to the lower, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. All right, let's try it just a little faster now, and I'm going to bring in that secondary rhythm part, or the first part that we learned, so you can hear both parts together. Get set, I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the higher part. back down. So take your time with this one. You want to practice both of those parts, the rhythm and the lead, and you'll actually hear it is two different guitars on the recording. So depending upon if you're playing with another musician, you could play one and then they could play the other. You could alternate. You want to be able to do both though, and as I mentioned, those double stops are such a classic Chuck Berry sound. He used that in so many tunes. And to help you even more, be sure to pick up my ultimate fretboard guide at the first link down below. And this is going to tie more in with some of those lead parts and how they relate to the chords. It's going to show you my simple system for mapping out the entire fretboard. Again, you can get this completely for free. This is one of the most useful pages you could have as a guitar player, and it's just one page. Grab your copy, go to johnmclennan.com/fretboard guide. Hope you enjoy that. As always, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you in another video real soon.